Like, you're not going to win, but oh my god, are you going to make them pay for that victory point?
You're going to make them hurt.
Yep.
Can we get on with this?
Yeah, I think they're discussing in detail how to split up the Dutch East Indies.
Oh boy.
I mean, you know, there's a lot.
Germany is passing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's.
Oh, you need to
Click faster.
Damn you. There we go.
Yeah, we need a Counter-Strike player in here immediately because he's not clicking fast enough. Sorry, I was talking about Poland and I completely forgot. But there's a lot of stuff in the more ideology part of the branches of the trees where he can get his stability up for free because, good God, 8% stability in World War II is going to be a bad time.
Yes, that is going to be a very bad time.
Anyway, let's see how everybody else is doing. How's my dear Byzantium doing?
Which Byzantium is that? Turkey or Greece?
The dear one, the one that I like.
Nice. That is a good recovery. Well, at least the Turkish Byzantium is looking at Iran.
Yep. I mean that's not a surprise. I would just I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Iran has become the deathbed of many a player in this multiplayer. AI.
Well, not in this particular multiplayer.
Oh, sorry. In Hoi multiplayer in general.
I mean, it is very defensive terrain, right?
I mean,
and they have a fairly decent industry base, so they are not, you know, starving for rifles and artillery.
That's very true. I'm just worried, you know.
Yes.
Maybe I've got too many feels left over from the last MP, but I have faith.
You have feels and you have faith.
What more does a man need, Gabriel? Yes. Oh no.
Oh.
I am informed that perhaps our dear.
Oh right, because Germany went to war, they actually have to pay back the Milford bills.
Yep. Because it's not a war. Sorry, it's not. It is a war, but it's not World War II war.
Well,
so.
they were at war with the Dutch East Indies, and now they ended.
So they have
and
to
even
pay
if it is like a major war, you still have to pay back afterwards. But usually it takes a while before you invade America, and by that point you usually
who
don't care.
has a major war in Hoi and doesn't just conquer the world after that and then close the game?
How many divisions does Bhutan have? That is an interesting.
Sweden is going to have.
Bhutan is at 109 divisions at the moment. I swear to God, we thought this.
I mean, I might ask later on if I can just jump briefly into Bhutan to get some work done. But here goes Norway, and it looks like.
And also the war in Iran has kicked off.
The war in Iran has kicked. Oh.
Yes. And you know, the Turkish divisions are advancing.
Really good use of cavalry there as well. Like, can't afford tanks, just move fast into places where there isn't anything. Get a nice encirclement off.
Yep.
That's
some proper good
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, no, that's some textbook excellente play. So I guess no grinding in the mountains this time.
Yeah. We were trying to hype this up as this. Oh, this is going to be a complete hell war.
Yeah, no, but that was basically perfect.
Yeah.
Oh. Ah, I was really hoping that horse was going to charge headlong into there. We should give everybody the sword animation that the Japanese and the Chinese cavalry have, because that is just a fantastic.
You know, I wanted that for the Japanese bicycle. But, they're on their bicycle with the sword.
Oh, I keep misclicking. What is wrong with me? I'm just brain. Please help function. Yeah. So I mean. The thing that I'm not really understanding is that I'm sure that several of the nations could help Norway in a way that doesn't necessarily require them to go immediately to war. Because Finland is going to get stuck grinding down the spine of Norway now through mountains and just not having a good time at all.
I mean, one would suspect that the Germans at some point join that war, right?
But then
as soon as they're called in, at least.
Sure. I mean, if I was somebody on the opposite team, and I happen to have a bunch of old stuff kicking around, lend-lease them, volunteers, like just do something, you know? It doesn't have to be a big gesture, but 1,000 rifles in a purely Norwegian campaign is going to make a big difference to the Norwegian AI.
Yes.
That's another division running for another week at full strength.
Absolutely.
But and I'm not sure if Twitch picked that up, but Quill just said, let's just appease Germany and it'll work out fine. Which is brave words.
I mean, second time's charm, right?
Oh, did they invite the Kingdom of Hungary into the...
Yeah, Hungary joined the Union.
Yes, of course they did, because of Germany.
Yep.
Yes.
What's interesting is that Czechoslovakia still exists.
Yeah, I was just checking on that. It's I mean, maybe it's just there to cause a bit of border gore, like flip to the old faction map mode, and then there's just this weird Czechoslovakian shape in the middle of them all. But yep, war in Iran wrapping up nicely. No problem there whatsoever. They're desperately trying to hold on, but they're just encircled everywhere. They can't fight a consistent defense, so that'll be over before you know it. And apart from that, and the Finnish campaign.
And there goes Lithuania.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was happening.
No, I kind of missed that as well. But
sorry, Lithuania.
I'm sure it was a glorious fight.
So, ooh, that's a decent pot of equipment for Poland when they. Oh wait, wow, yeah, that was up there in terms of equipment, especially when they have, again, low stability, so low output. That's really going to help them out with, if not fielding more divisions, then switching their production away from rifles onto more heavy-hitting equipment.
Yep. Interestingly enough, Romania has not justified on Bulgaria. But then again, Bulgaria is sitting at the...
I believe Bulgaria is part of the faction.
Oh boy, it is.
Yes.
I am very sorry.
Yeah. But okay, just gonna leave that like that. Okay. But it looks like Germany's done some decent work on their templates. Pretty standard stuff coming out from most people, from what I've seen. I'm looking for you know, the template to crown the best template of the match. I haven't found it yet, but I will find it.
We should have, you know, the EU4.
Yes, we'll have position trophies.
Exactly.
And then also best template,
worst border gore.
I mean, well, so far, dear Greece definitely has the worst border gore. But it is. It looks so bad. I can kind of smell how bad it is.
Oh boy, Germany is.
Ooh.
What's
pure
Germany
infantry.
doing?
Fair enough. Maybe that's why he's not changing his production over. Makes sense. What's Britain up to? Nothing? Got a decent surplus of equipment, so what are you waiting for? Ah, he's just got medium tank 1s, which probably means he wants to build himself a nice medium tank template, which makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Because, as I have said many a time, light tanks are terrible. Why does anyone ever build light tanks?
You know, I always get the impression that sometimes we look at it through the lens of how does the AI use them. And we go, you know, to really use light tanks effectively, you have to be fast, you have to be aggressive, you have to take risks, and making an AI take calculated risks is...
Yes.
That is a bit of the holy grail of AI programming.
That's true. And therefore, for a player, maybe it makes sense if they have a play style. But speaking of like fast, swift, and destructive, the Turkish Empire here just cleaning up Iran.
Yes.
Nice big borders. Maybe going for their own mini game for a bit of a Ottoman reforming.
Yeah, I can see that. I believe the Raj player from the 3-Day Wars is looking at this with some
yes, with
some envy. Oh yeah, France actually declared war on Siam. We keep forgetting that there's territory outside of Europe.
Is there? I thought it was just all Bhutan as far as the eye could see. I'm not necessarily definitely sure, but I'm pretty sure before that peace conference hit, Bhutan was sending volunteers to Iran.
Oh boy!
So maybe we created a giant that's now going to volunteer out its entire army to the world to try and stop our players from conquering stuff.
It might end up being, Bhutan that wins the multiplayer. Our AI programmer wins without even being here. And Poland has formed Poland-Lithuania, or the Polish-Lithuanian Empire.
Is it even more pink now?
I believe it is a very hot pink.
It is so much more pink.
I am colorblind, and I still believe that it's indeed pink. Twitch chat, you could see China, but it is just Bhutan. It is Bhutan all the way down. And Siam actually got puppeted. Interesting.
Puppeted? Who did they get puppeted by?
I believe France.
Maybe they just like this little puppet thing they've got going on here, right? Like 3 French puppets next to a British puppets next to, and then a large amount of annexed German Reich. So maybe not everybody's into puppets. I don't know.
Oh, and Czechoslovakia exists because you don't actually have to fight a war to get them.
That's lazy, though. Just roll on in there. What are tanks for if you're not going to use them?
Yeah.
But that is very true. I suspect that, Germany going for a more traditional approach rather than focusing on...
And I mean,
of them focusing on other focuses.
Yes, and as far as, Greater Finland grinding down Norway, they actually pushed through there surprisingly fast.
Yeah, I
would have suspected that you would have to pull off some, naval invasions in the rear.
Yeah. I mean, oh my god. Western Finland. Oh no. The players are currently starting the what is Finland? Is it Eastern something or Western something else conversation that I don't think we'll address, Gabriel.
No,
but I just thought I would bring it up.
Stay out of there. Neither of us is Swedish or Finnish, so we can be neutral.
Put a big old stack of Norwegian guns as a prize for our dear Finland players. So, and manpower to boot. So it's good.
Well, his oh wait, that's Germany.
Good. Just generally a good win for him. I'm surprised. I would maybe if I paid more attention, I would understand what just happened. But
meanwhile, France goes into Belgium.
There goes Sweden. Okay, so I guess the play you have here, right, is France desperately trying to grab Brussels because victory point. Well, I believe the Germans, but also possibly the Finnish. I don't quite remember. Yes, the Germans and the Finns now making a grab for Stockholm for the other victory point.
I mean, the Union is, I believe, up. Once they've taken Stockholm, will be up 1 victory point.
I believe so.
Whereas the Confederacy of the victory point locations only has Sofia.
Yeah, you are very correct. I mean, they will hopefully anyway. I believe in Belgium, but I don't necessarily know if they can fight off the entirety of France by themselves. So they will also have Brussels, which will help them out.
That is true.
I mean, the real, I guess, confusing thing for me is that there is a victory point right here. There could be a war. Sorry, there is a victory point on the canal. I should probably not just use my mouse, my hands. And nobody is
pointing at the screen.
It's not guarded. It's not. Tomorrow, somebody could land here, right?
Well, they would probably have some warning that the war between, Britain.
That's
and
very true,
Italy
but I
breaks
mean,
out.
the 3-month journey down there and then you want to build up entrenchment. You want to be ready to go, right? But you only have 6 divisions in North.
Sweden
North Africa.
folded fast.
I mean, but that border, they were never going to be able to defend it, and you just take the pieces out of it, right? It's a giant border, especially with the Finland-Norway gone. Sorry,
Yep.
Finland, the Finnish border, and with Norway gone, it was never going to happen. Rip Finland. F's in chat.
I believe it was Sweden or, you know...
Oh, did I say Finland?
Eastern Finland.
Yeah, Eastern Finland, or now Greater Finland.
And there goes Belgium. Yeah, as Twitch chat has pointed out, Sweden is indeed finished.
Nice. Nice.
Yes.
Let's never talk about that again. But man, we should wait and use that joke later and pretend that it's ours.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Let's just pretend we never said that.
Okay, so Belgium falls, unsurprisingly, to the French, which means that they now have control of the Brussels victory point.
Yes, they do. I guess the really interesting part will be the Gibraltar-Suez Canal victory point.
Yes.
I don't see Gibraltar holding out against Spain for long. Sorry, Gibraltar.
Rip.
But I guess they can make a stand in the in Egypt to keep them out. And I suspect that that's going to be quite a bit of conflict between, particularly the Ottoman, the not quite Ottoman Empire.
The not quite Ottoman Empire, but soon. Yeah, but I mean, you do not want to be fighting on the former, I guess the former Iranian Indian front, the current Turkish Indian front. You do not want to be fighting there as a defender or as an attacker. It's going to be a nasty old time for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So what's the state of play when it comes to justifications? Okay, the Ottomans are going for Saudi Arabia, which makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Decent resources, more land, more factories.
And also, you know, a core for, requirement for... Oh, it's a color. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, they do clash. That's very true.
Yeah, that's...
We've been politely informed that they are too close of the color together and therefore must die.
I believe that should be indeed one of the new, you know, CVs. There's a color issue.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, as we all know, if there was a color trophy, it goes to the Polish-Lithuanian
Jesus Christ, that is some neon pink.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best color of any nation in the game. I remember when we first did it, and I believe it was Drickus, or perhaps Jacob, who showed it to me, and I was like, that is too pink. Imagine how pink it was before we turned down the pink, Gabriel.
That is some proper pink. And Poland-Lithuania has declared war on Latvia. And I suppose Estonia is starting to...
It's clean-up time, right? It's clean-up time. The weird thing is Denmark is still... I'm sorry, Denmark, but there we go. Finland going for Denmark, November-ish time, so... And
the Twitch at the Panama Canal is, of course, owned by Bhutan, as it was historically.
If you can't see it on one of our screens, chances are it's owned by Bhutan.
Well, if you can't see it on one of our screens and it is in any way relevant, then it is probably owned by Bhutan.
You're trying to say the Suez Canal isn't relevant?
Well, we look at the Suez Canal from time to time.
That's true, we do.
No, Bhutan is not a player. That would have been funny, but not not what we were going for.
I mean, who knows? After the break, maybe I'll jump on in.
Yes.
But the border... I mean, Britain really needs to start putting more emphasis into their Egyptian territory if they want to hold the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal, unless I'm mistaken, if you hold both sides, is 3 points?
Yes. I'm not sure if it's quite...
I think owning one side is 1, owning the other is 1, and then if you own both, it's 3.
Yes, okay.
Which I believe should mean that the game is going to be decided here, and nobody cares about it.
I mean, I can definitely... Wait, signed a white what?
I have no idea.
So Poland and Lithuania just signed a white peace. I don't... What is going on?
Misclick, maybe? Okay. Apparently that was a bug. I'm not sure which one or how, but I'll check it out afterwards, I guess.
Yes. Yes. It's not happening to him yet.
We will make a brief edit, perhaps, during the break. But I forgot what I was saying completely. So the real kicker of the game, right? It's going to be the Canal. It has to be the Canal, and the only person who is in any position to like properly control this region right now is our pseudo-Ottoman Empire / the Turkish Empire, right? They can smash through here in a day and have their entire army sit here for the rest of the game.
Yes.
Like as soon as war kicks off, the British just aren't even close to ready for this.
But I mean, they have to keep forces back in the home islands because France is a member of the European Confederacy.
That's very true.
So
and they can't necessarily rely on naval supremacy everywhere. But I mean, if you don't play risky, you aren't gonna win in this game, right? Like
the stakes are definitely going higher.
It's getting to the point where people need to start knowing what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it, or everything's gonna fall apart in the next hour or so. Well, hopefully longer, so that we have more to talk about. I suspect that when the proverbial excrement hits the fan, we might lower from speed 4, so people can actually pay attention to what they're doing, and maybe we'll be able to catch some more stuff as well.
Well, then again, I believe Daniel is hosting, so we might actually go up to speed 5.
Oh yeah, of course. The one place where he has the definite advantage is the fact that he's probably the youngest person in the room. He's still got those good old-fashioned Counter-Strike reaction times, unlike the rest of us. Yeah. What's nationalist Spain up to? What are you up to, Spain? How's it going? Pretty standard stuff by the looks.
Yeah,
decent amount
just
of
building up, you know.
Yep, general build-up, nothing like fancy, just standard good stuff.
Yep, just modernizing the military a bit, going for superior firepower.
So,
doctrine.
At this point, right, I'm not saying what's going to happen on this front at all. Germany is in quite a predicament when it comes to just the sheer amount of territory they have to hold. But they also have Poland on their side, who can move divisions wherever Germany needs them to move them, right?
Yes. And
it's going to be one hell of a kickoff when things do kick off, I tell you.
Yeah.
The amount of men and equipment that's going to be needed to just to hold the line, never mind to make a breakthrough, is mind-boggling. Oh, rip Luxembourg.
I mean, they stopped being great, I guess.
Yeah. Second greatest nation in the world just fell apart.
Yeah, and I believe Denmark is not long for this world either.
Yep. Not a massive amount of equipment, but I guess that's not surprising from the Luxembourg peace treaty.
I mean, it's better than the 3-day war where Luxembourg apparently had something like 15,000.
That was a great bug.
That was a great bug.
I did love that bug very much.
Yes. Especially
it's fixed now, by the way, just before anybody starts shouting at me. It's fixed.
Oh, so we think, at least.
Yeah, this is when I get a forum message at some point this evening. It's not fixed. But, yeah, I mean, Denmark has the geography advantage, but that's it. Manpower, equipment, they're doomed. But the Finns making a battle straight across the strait there. That's it's a ballsy move with those penalties, but I respect it a lot.
But then again, once you take Copenhagen, you basically won the war.
I just saw how big is the German Navy? What are you up to?
There's the war in Saudi Arabia.
The war in Saudi Arabia? How's it going?
The Saudi Arabian army is fighting bravely.
Yeah. They're going to hold the front for a bit, and then chances are the horses are going to flood on through, and then...
Yes, the horses, the riders of the apocalypse have been unleashed.
About to crush yet more territory. And nobody is doing anything to stop one another, which is... It's weird to me that you have all these different ways that you can annoy, not necessarily save a neutral nation, but make whoever's conquering them's lives way harder. And
But then again, I suppose there is a little bit of a gentleman's agreement, you know, not to do that too much.
yes, of course.
So you
We'll
can
conquer most of the world who isn't us,
Yes.
and then we'll fight each other.
Then we'll have a nice gentlemanly war, like civilized people.
I wonder how gentlemanly it's going to get when the salt starts flowing and the pocket strats come out. Oh, well,
Alright.
I mean, I don't think anyone's surprised, but there goes Denmark.
There was, I mean, they lasted longer than historically.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
If Jacob was here,
Yeah, but
he'd
Jacob
be
isn't
very
here.
upset with you right now.
I think Jacob would be the first to admit that Denmark's military history in World War II was not
Hey,
spectacular.
I don't want to be that guy, but remember that Danish film?
April 9.
Yes, that
I tried
film.
to watch that on Netflix. It's Danish with Swedish subtitles.
Yeah,
I was not amused.
I also tried to watch it, and you know why I tried to watch it, Gabriel? Because I saw the trailer, and in the trailer they have the right specific Danish Craig Jorgensen nose caps that were only ever made for the Danish military, and I was like, somebody on that film set cares way too much.
Cares as much as I do.
Yeah.
And yes, Finland has formed the
Nordic Empire.
Nordic Empire. Very nice.
And again, the Turks just crushing it still in the Middle East. So
Meanwhile, Poland has launched the second
of course,
conquest of Latvia. They had so much fun the first time. They just wanted to do it.
Zero stability on Poland right now.
Oh boy.
Like minus 50% output from both factories and dockyards.
Nice.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
The Nordic Empire color blue is pretty tasty blue. Like again,
It has a little.
hot pink on the Polish side still wins.
Yes.
But if they could start just painting parts of the nation just with blue and pink stripes, I'd really appreciate that.
Well, I guess for that, Finland would have had to take Latvia, and then
yes, of course.
Lithuania takes Estonia, but it's too late for that now.
Okay, so the French military is starting to shape up quite substantially. Still no medium tanks, but nonetheless a lot of men and a lot of equipment in the field, and I'm really banking on France to do a decent job here. I've been informed I will be very disappointed.
Yeah, I mean that's just expectations management, I guess.
Hey, I mean, the French are in a good position to fight a brutal defensive war for Brain, please, Brussels, and then they have this whole front out. What used to be Austria and the Czechoslovakia to try and play for Vienna.
Yep.
And that's all they need to worry about, and maybe not get smashed by the Romanians while they're at it. But
oh, and the Bhutanese volunteers have arrived to fight for Saudi Arabia.
the Bhutanese volunteers are appearing everywhere all of a sudden. The best thing as well, if I can just mildly, Bhutan is still landlocked, and they have to deploy everything into their own land. So the entire Bhutanese army is just in this tiny area. They have all of this territory, and they can't deploy anything there.
They have to be. Jeez.
And they're not aggressive enough to start justifying on their neighbors.
They have 1 million rifles in stockpile. I
Yep.
think they're gonna roll over into negatives when the
Yeah, I mean, I think
outruns the integer.
you can't roll into negatives anymore, Gabriel, because we fixed that.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Did we do that in the 153 patch? Or
We did it in 1.5.1.
Oh.
Like, we fixed it ages ago.
Oh. Shows you what I know.
I mean, I guess you're not the guy using massive exploits all the time during your MPs and single players, so...
Yep. Let's go with that. Meanwhile, yes, Romania working down their focus tree went for capital ships actually.
What? What?
The glorious.
I actually don't believe you. Where?
The Romanian navy.
Oh, yeah, okay. Forget I said anything.
I guess actually if they could wrestle control of the Black Sea away from Turkey, they could threaten the entire Turkish coastline. Oh, well. Quite some areas there.
I mean, maybe. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure Turkey starts with a fair number of battleships at game start. We can.
Well, the old German one, right?
I think they have more than the old German. I could be wrong. Let's before I talk out of my arse completely. Let's double. Oh yeah, no, they just have. You are very correct. They have the one battle cruiser. So I mean, maybe yeah, just one or two battleships in the Black Sea would be the
play.
Table turner. But on the other hand, I mean,
and guess what? The licensed. They called up the Germans.
Asked for one, and now they're going to start making their own pretty soon.
That's pretty neat.
Speaking of the naval game, have there been much expansion of the British and French navies? Looking. Okay, wow. So it looks like everybody really loves light ships.
That is
nearly 200 destroyers in the British Navy right now. That's interesting.
Quite some battleships also being built.
Yes, very much so, and good ones too. And let's briefly check on France as well. Okay, they've gone for a more economically viable naval build strategy for France, and they're building a lot of battle cruisers. And it doesn't look like a whole lot of expansion has gone on in terms of sheer numbers, which might be a problem for France if they have to go one-on-one.
Yeah,
I mean the German Navy is also rather substantial right now.
Yes, that's actually something I'm wondering. Like, who does the Confederacy thinks is going to take on the Royal Navy?
Yeah, I
don't even see them build naval bombers necessarily.
No, I mean that would be my go-to strategy as well. Let's not fight them on the sea because we can't. We'll spend a lot of IC on naval bombers and then also use our older equipment and our crappier divisions to garrison the coast.
Yes.
Just in case because we're going to lose naval supremacy.
Yes.
But let's blow them up.
And possibly, attrit the Royal Navy to the point where you can actually at least force them to invest way more into guarding their coastline.
Yep.
So you get some measure of breathing room in the Mediterranean.
I think we might be going for a Union naval supremacy here. I'm pretty confident in that claim. It's not looking, unless the Spanish Navy has gone through a massive rebuilding.
I do not believe they have.
Rebuilding ship faction map mode. That's a good.
I mean, something like combined naval strengths would probably be nice.
You're right, Gabriel. And last I heard, the Hoi team's working on some kind of naval expansion.
Ooh.
Maybe we should talk to them.
Yes. Maybe we should, give down a call.
Maybe people from Twitch chat should go on Twitter and the forums right now and recommend this to him.
Yes. He always loves it when people,
If there's one thing I know Dan loves, it's Twitter spam. Yeah, the Italians looking pretty strong on land, but let's have a look at their navy. Oof, damn! See, lots of destroyer spam coming out, so it looks like we're going to go for a bit of a weird balance in terms of the naval warfare that's going to be happening. And you know what? That I have completely forgotten to check for this entire game. What kind of leaders are we running here, guys? What traits we going for, huh? Okay. Of course, a lot of the French generals start with the trickster earned trait, so a lot of people go immediately for guerrilla fighter because of that entrenchment speed, and it's decent. I mean,
if you're on the defensive, at least.
Yes, very much so. Which I would hope that's France's plan. I mean, more power to them if they want to try it, but they have the victory point they need, right?
Well, if you make it to Berlin. Yep.
But I mean, my figuring is they can hold this. They have the extended Maginot Line as well as some extra forts up here. The extended Maginot Line as well as some extra forts up here, and it's going to be relatively easy for them to hold. Yes. And that's all they have to do is just hold.
And if you look at it, they have built up quite a fortification wall there.
And it's going to be the war of movement has to come from the south, right? Like, otherwise, you are sure you're striking into Germany and you're doing economic damage and you're killing you're taking their factories. But at the same time, like, taking half of Germany doesn't help you if they still have Vienna at this point.
Yes. No, if you go into a place, then you have to go all in, and take the capital.
Yep. What's the Turkish Empire up to now? Oh, Oman. Okay. I mean that's just cleaning up.
Yeah, that's just cleaning up. When will you see more Imperator Rome? I'm super not equipped to answer that question.
I'm sure if it was up to Johan, he would show it you all the time. But it's not up to him.
Yeah, no.
And it's not up to us. So you're asking the wrong guy. Oh, I've been politely informed by Blondie that it's actually ready to go, but Johan just doesn't want to release it because he doesn't want anyone else to see it.
Exactly. It's actually a perfect game already. It's too perfect. It would make all of our other games look bad.
Okay, Poland. The Polish-Lithuanian Empire finally sorted out their stability problem after a long struggle.
Good.
And they don't seem to be using general traits, even though they have all the command power in the world. I mean, Organizer and Charismatic aren't fantastic on a field marshal, but let's have a look at you, my friend. Okay.
Well, some of them have not earned their, starting traits, so you can't.
It's more of a fact that I suspect, in terms of field marshal, Organizer and Charismatic aren't fantastic, so you don't necessarily want them because it blocks you off from getting other traits.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trait slot, right?
Yep. And they also haven't grinded enough infantry, cavalry, or tanks or whatever to get the earned traits. So I guess it's just a wait and see when it comes to the big wars. What's going to happen? Now here's the interesting thing. What leaders? Manstein and Guderian don't have commands in Germany. Controversial decision.
Well, Captain Reserve, I guess.
I suspect it's because he's gone for all of the infantry officers, which it does. Yes, indeed, that is exactly what has happened. Everybody is an infantry officer. That's a pretty ballsy move. I got a lot of respect for that. And then you save your popular guys for your expensive tank divisions later on. But right now, if you're only going to grind infantry armies, then you might as well all have them led by infantry leaders. There we go. Finally, some nice big juicy templates coming out. Even though I think England's still a bit too scared to move past 40, but that's a nice big template finally.
I mean, we all move past 40 eventually.
Isn't Drickus like 12?
No, that's Daniel. Drickus is actually 16.
Drickus is the other one that works here. Right. Let's. So it's gone quiet all of a sudden. We're coming up on, well, an incredibly long time actually. I thought it was. We've been over a year with still no even glimpses of a player war.
No, there's still. I mean, as long as there's still stuff to gobble up somewhere.
But there isn't really, right? We've mainly run out of stuff. I mean, you've got Estonia left, and I guess Ireland if you're feeling particularly fancy. But I mean, it's not. There's nothing left.
Guess what Britain is justifying on?
God.
I mean, you might as well.
My feelings, Bratton. My feelings.
And they're gonna finish their industry focuses just in time.
Oh dear. But no, I mean, we're just waiting now. We're just waiting for somebody to start something.
It's a Cold War.
And I'm kind of hoping that the other teams aren't waiting for somebody to start something, because otherwise everyone's going to be waiting all night.
For quite a while, yes. Thankfully, we're on the room with them. We can just shout at them to get stuff done.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, that's not what I wanted to do at all. And also, Greece has been pretty. Sorry, one of the Byzantiums, beg your pardon, has been pretty quiet all round.
Call it the Western Eastern Roman Empire.
Nice. But it's just looking like they're just gonna keep building infantry till the end of time.
Yep.
Damn, that is a fine hat and mustache this gentleman has. I have no idea who he is, but top for the mustache, my friend. And let's have a look.
I think that's one of the new generic Middle East / Southern Europe portraits that Ilva made.
Cool. I mean, they're getting to the point where there are so many different portraits in places that I don't play now that I'm just surprised occasionally.
Yeah.
Which, you know, 5,000 hours in doesn't usually happen to you all that much. What's Bulgaria doing? Like, I'm not necessarily sure that bringing them in instead of just gobbling them was the best idea. Yeah.
But then again, it meant they could secure it basically without a war.
Yep, that's very true. And it was early days back then.
Yep.
Back when the world wasn't painted either green or black. So, how are we doing on time, Gabriel, me old dear?
Don't worry. I suppose we are about 5 to 10 minutes away from the mid-war break.
Thinking. The mid-war break, and then we can go away and shout at people to start killing each other. But I reckon, right? Bratton forgot that Ireland existed until we mentioned it, which is why he hadn't done it yet.
I can understand that. They're very unassuming people, the Irish.
This is this justification isn't even close to being done. I'm still really confused about Germany's use of what am I doing?
There's a question about the troop levels of the French puppets. So Syria has 2 divisions. I believe the Lebanon has not even tried to make one. Well, nope, they have not. And then you have Laos and Cambodia.
As far as I'm aware, they probably won't be trying to make...
Oh, well, no. I think it's because, obviously, as puppets, their troops are automatically assigned to the overlord.
Maybe. Easy enough to check. Whoops, that's an airfield, not France, but I could see how I could get those two confused.
Ho-ho! And, yeah, Siam is slowly rebuilding and holding the front against British Malaya and the Raj.
No, it doesn't look like France is taking any manpower or anything from their puppets.
Interesting. But that's something we haven't really talked about, that you know, there are colonies outside of Europe that are on opposite sides of the
of
the line.
I mean, I guess the problem is with, for example, like France committing here, right? Like, it's probably it's a land grab that they can do, so they're going to do it. But I don't think it's going to help all that much.
No, it's just more territory you do have to defend, and there's not even.
And I mean, chances are you're not going to defend it, right? You're gonna take it, and you're either gonna leave it or you're gonna puppet it, and that's the end of it. Oh, and there goes Oman. Yep. The Turks cleaning up their border war. Sorry, their border gore.
Well, it's not even the worst border gore.
No, it's not.
We've seen worse.
Yeah, we've seen worse. We don't talk about it anymore. But it's looking like a pretty slow grind now. Just to, what is this? So,
the good news is Bhutan has stopped building new divisions.
They
have reached 108, and they're actually out of manpower.
Oh.
Because of course, these are all non-core states, so they don't get a whole lot of recruitment from that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like. Oh, of course, I'm on. It looks like Siam might not want to try and fight India, because that's not going to go well.
Yeah.
But I guess what else are they going to do, right?
Well, they are sharing a border with the Turkish Empire, or excuse me, the Eastern Roman Empire.
The Eastern Roman Empire, as opposed to the Eastern Roman Empire.
Well, as opposed to the Eastern Roman Empire.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, actually, maybe right. All of these Indian divisions on the Siam front are not on the Turk front, which is going to help the Turks wonders when they do push in through these mountains.
Yep. Yeah,
But it's just
okay,
what
makes
I'm
sense.
just waiting for it to kick off.
Yes.
Like there's.
I honestly think that the players might be waiting for the break so they can
So-
do some last-minute coordination
Yeah.
and then, you know,
Yeah,
take a deep breath.
They're gonna slink out of the room, chat amongst themselves
Yes.
while they grab something to drink and then come back and smash everything. So, there we go.
There's the war on Ireland.
Fight. Okay,
And I know
Ireland
you
has-
feel very strongly about the Irish, but
Ireland has 3 divisions.
yep,
They're doomed.
They could almost hold half of the border.
Yep, almost. Just sit in Dublin and make them pay for it. But I think with Ireland gone, are we out yet of nations that can be eaten? We have to be out at this point, right? Like,
Well, Estonia hasn't been eaten yet.
oh, of course.
That is not what we wanted.
By yet, you mean? Wow, no justification or anything.
Yep, and the Nordic Empire is justifying against Afghanistan. I mean,
Probably,
sure, why not?
yeah. Probably doing it for a teammate
Yeah, very possible.
rather than a teammate can't afford the PP.
Yep, so probably the Turkish Empire can, yes, justify against Yemen, and then they don't get the war goal on Afghanistan, but they will probably get the territory.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the plan is to just call India in and then they eat it for no reason. Bit of a weird waste of political power, but maybe they got political power to waste.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the French, who are still proper struggling in terms of political power. They haven't taken any decisions. Their cabinet's basically empty. I mean, they still don't even have a military theorist in 1939.
And the Polish-Lithuanian Empire not using all of its civilian factories.
That's-
Excuse me, let me repeat that more loudly.
Yeah.
Poland, civilian yeah, you did. Good boy.
But the I guess the good thing for France with the war not kicking off yet is they finally get to do army reform, which I mean I don't know why they're doing it so late. Probably because they focused on flipping ideology, but still army reform is so important for France. Going to war without it is just is asking for so much trouble.
Yes.
Oh, and now Daniel has just started trash talking people who I'm pretty sure are on his
Ooh.
team.
And Italy is justifying against the German Reich. So
Italy
here we
is
go.
just-
We're 110 days out from the war starting. And we are taking a 10-minute break, I
I
believe.
think we will call it here, considering that just happened.
Yes.
And we will see you in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yep.